Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about how to solve literal equations. Literal equations are really just equations that we're trying to rearrange so that we can solve for a specific variable. So we're going to start with a couple of equations where our variables are all shapes. So here if we want to solve for this triangle, that means we want to isolate this triangle. What would we have to get rid of? Well, if we think about what we've done in the past, draw that line to the equal sign, I want to get rid of this box. So in the opposite of subtracting a box would then be to add a box. Do that to both sides. So what would we have left over? Well, just like solving a regular equation, those would cancel each other out. And we would be left with my triangle is equal to my star plus box. I can't add them together. We don't know what star is, we don't know what box is, cannot add them together. We leave it just like that. Alright, so let's try this one. Here we want to solve for the star. So the opposite of dividing by a triangle would be to multiply by a triangle. And then we do it to the other side. So now we've gotten rid of the triangles on this side, and we are left with our star equals our square times our triangle. Just like that. Alright, so now I want you to try that on your own down here. Go ahead, pause the video. Alright, so what exactly is a literal equation? A literal equation is an equation or formula that contains multiple variables. So now we're going to deal with just variables. The process that we use to move variables around is the same process we use for solving any regular equation. So up here they want us to solve for A. That means they want us to isolate A. So there's the one that I need to isolate. So how do we do that? Well, we can start by drawing that line to the equal sign if that's something that you really like to do. And then instead of adding B, I'm now going to subtract B from both sides. My B's cancel each other out. And now we're left with A equals C minus B. So my A comes down and I'm just left with C minus B. I keep it in that same order. I just write it horizontally instead of vertically. Now I'm done. Alright, let's go to the next page. Alright, so I want you to do this problem here on your own. Solve for X. Go ahead, pause the video. Alright, let's look at example 2. Okay, so here they want us to solve for A. So we're going to isolate that term that has the A in it. And here's our A, but we are really going to isolate that whole term. So again, to do that first, we need to subtract B from both sides. My B's will cancel out. And we are now left with A times X equals C minus B. Right? Well now, to get that A by itself, now we would just divide both sides by X. And this time, my X's will cancel each other out. And we are now left with A equals C minus B over X. There's no actual math involved in any of these problems because there's no numbers. It's all letters. All we're doing is just rearranging the order of our letters or our variables. Alright, I want you to try this one on your own. Go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, let's come down and look at example 3. The formula for the surface area of a triangular prism is S equals HP plus 2B, where H is the height of the prism, P is the perimeter of the base, and B is the area of the base. Solve the equation for H. So we need to isolate this variable right here, H. So we're going to start with the original formula, okay? And they want us to solve for H. Alright, so again, we have to isolate this term. To do that, we need to move this whole term. We move terms, not individual pieces. So that term is plus 2b. So I'm going to subtract 2b from both sides. And again, I'm going to draw that line through the equal sign. All right, so now that I've done that, I now have S minus 2B equals HP. All right, well now we need to solve for H. So in order to do that, we're going to divide both sides by P. When I divide both sides by P, that cancels those P's out. I've now isolated my H, and then I'm left with this. Again, I have no math to actually do. It's just moving our terms around. All right, go ahead and try this one on your own. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, and then that is it for our notes. Make sure you complete your try on your own before you come into class next time, and then we'll go over those answers. I'll see you in class.